I'm having one of those days where I just don't want to journal at all. I feel so tired for no reason. And I'm honestly just kind of feeling a little grumpy just because of how tired I feel. I feel like I just hit a wall for the day and I still need to journal. I know it's a struggle that a lot of people have. And just because I've been journaling for so long, every single day for like 7 years, over 7 years now, doesn't mean that I don't have these days. But guess what we are still going to be doing? We're still going to be journaling because it's in moments like these that the discipline really matters. That being said, I think it's really important to have flexibility with yourself, because if I'm going to have grace with my journal entries, now is a great time to do that, just by allowing myself to have a more chillaxed journal entry. It doesn't need to be super amazing and pretty and aesthetic. Not that it ever needs to be like that, but especially on days when you're not feeling up for it, I will sometimes scribble, I will write really big, I will make it look sloppy. It does not need to look pretty, perfect. It's hard to really convince yourself that that's okay, especially if you're a perfectionist like myself and also an overachiever. I feel like I always want my journal entries to sound really amazing, to look really amazing, but the reality of that is just not what life looks like or is. And I try to remind myself that I want my journal to be an accurate representation of my life and not a highlight reel. Especially because why would we want our journal to be a highlight reel when we already have social media that creates that false image anyway? We don't need another area in our life to have that pressure. Also, as a side note, social media shouldn't be like that either. But it is, unfortunately. Honestly, just putting a camera on right now and knowing that I'm going to be uploading this already just makes me feel a little bit more able to do the journal entry, because I feel like I'm being watched. So maybe that could be a hack for you. Invite somebody into your room and like sit near you while you're journaling. I don't know. Or maybe call up a friend, have them hang out on FaceTime with you. Today is Sunday, literally 7:46 p.m. right now. My plan is to journal and then read my Bible for like 5 minutes and then go to bed. I'm just gonna go to bed early because I'm in one of those moods where I feel like I'm just not gonna be productive and I'm just gonna be sitting in my grumpiness. I'd rather just go to bed and hit a mental reset. I also really am trying to remind myself, and I try to do this when I just am in these moods, that journaling is a resource. It's meant to be a resource to help with these moods. So not only does it not need to be perfect, but it also doesn't need to be only the good, happy times. Kind of going off of what we were just saying with the highlight reel, it's here for it all. It's here for every single up and down. The really high highs, the really low lows, everything in between. Even the really sleepy, sloppy entries. It can be pretty cathartic to just dump things out. Oh my gosh, my brain is moving so slowly right now. Words are so hard. Oh, wow. I need to go see a chiropractor. Anyway, I try to view my journal as a resource to work through these emotions, or at the very least, just get them out of my system. Just put it on paper and forget about it. Some of my go-to things to write about when I am feeling like this is to literally write what I've just been telling you now. I'm tired, I'm grumpy, I just want to go to bed. I'm gonna write and then go to sleep after this. Why am I so tired right now? All of those things. Like it doesn't need to be cute, it doesn't need to be good. It can be really messy, it really does not matter. And I feel like there is a sense of beauty in the honesty and the vulnerability that you're able to have with yourself in your journal. And it also just builds trust with yourself if you're able to be honest in that way and you're not feeling like you have to put on a performance for yourself. Isn't that crazy how we're like that? Your journal is literally meant for you, but yet we still feel like we have to perform sometimes and uphold a standard for ourselves. Like, I'm all for having goals and setting high standards for yourself, but give yourself some grace, you know? You're a human being. We are all so flawed and we can't do it all. One of the reasons I'm wanting to do this video too is just to show that nobody is perfect. The internet is a lie. Not a lie, it doesn't show it all. It's only a fraction of someone's life. And I also want to be more real about showing not all the pretty stuff. Honestly, maybe I should post like on my Instagram a picture of my sloppy journal entry that doesn't look cute and doesn't have any color in it. Well, I still am doing color every day. I started doing color in my journal entries on August 1st of last year and I still haven't stopped. But on days like this when I add color, it's literally like barely anything. Like sometimes I'll just draw a little heart in a different color, or I will take a different colored pen and just like write a sentence in a different color, or I'll underline something in a different color, or just take a highlighter. Like, it's very minimal. Anyway, let's journal before I fall asleep. Got my pencil pouch here. My brain is moving so slowly. I don't want to have to make decisions right now. I just want to go to bed But this is really where the discipline shines through. Making yourself do stuff that you don't want to do is so transformative in your long-term success, just in general for your life. And I say that now, but yet I still don't want to be disciplined and I want to go to bed. Okay. This is what I have so far. I said, for some reason, I just hit a mental wall. Honestly, I kind of want to draw a brick wall now to show what my mind is like. So maybe that's how I'll add my color for this page. But it's going to be really sloppy because I don't want to put energy into things right now. So how do you draw a brick wall? I don't know. And I also don't care. I'm just going to do whatever the heck comes to my mind. I need a red color. Alright, that's my brick wall. I need to label it saying my mind. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Honestly, I'm giving myself like a lot of props right now because this is pretty creative for not having any energy right now. And again, I honestly feel like it's because I have a camera on me right now, so I feel like someone's watching me. It's almost hard to just fully release and do like my normal sleepy journal entry because I feel like I need to uphold some sort of something. I don't know. Let me see if I have another sleepy journal entry to show you. Okay, here's an example of a sleepy journal entry. As you can see, there is not many details there. I just very clearly was rushing through the page and wanting to go to bed. I will say, as good as it is to give yourself grace and to have flexibility with your discipline, it's also important to have discipline to not do sleepy journal entries every day. Sometimes I have sleepy seasons where I just have a lot of sleepy journal entries, but just find a balance. Give yourself grace, but also challenge yourself. I don't know, guys. I need to just be done with this. Okay, for some reason, I just hit a mental wall. What else do I want to say? I literally just like zoned out for a second. Guys, we did it. Here is the final journal entry. For some reason, I just hit a mental wall. My brain right now, the brick wall. I'm gonna go to bed because I can tell my thoughts are getting a little spirally. And then down here at the bottom, I said I'm gonna read my Bible for a little bit and then go to bed and have a mental refresh and start tomorrow off strong. That's the goal. And I crossed off goal and wrote plan and then good night. Because I really want to just like predetermine in my head that tomorrow is going to be a good day, that I'm going to be productive. It's not just a goal to have a good day, but it's going to happen, you know. Right now that feels kind of hard. That feels really difficult. And I'm honestly like, am I actually going to have a productive good day tomorrow when I feel this tired right now and I feel like I'm going to wake up feeling tired? But sometimes I feel like you have to gaslight yourself into thinking that you will have a good day so that you actually end up having a good day. It like rewires your brain when you tell yourself the same thing over and over again, even if you don't believe it at first. It's like if you walk through the grass from your front door to your mailbox in the same path every single time, every day, eventually that grass is gonna like wear down and you'll make a path there. That's how I think about it in my head when I tell myself the same thing over and over again. If I tell myself I'm gonna be productive, that I'm gonna journal, that I'm gonna get it done, that I'm happy, that I'm gonna have a good day, like all of those things, the more I tell myself that, the more likely I'm gonna continue having those thoughts and I'm gonna make a path there in my mind. I'm pretty sure like physiologically, that's also how it works. You can literally like rewire your brain. It's crazy. Honestly, filming this kind of put me in a better mood, and journaling and just writing that out put me in a bit of a better mood too. Feels a little relieving. It just feels nice to get it out, to know that I have decided to go to bed because I'm just allowing myself to not have a crazy productive night. And I'll make up for it tomorrow because tomorrow's gonna be a good day. And I have my Bible here. I'm not gonna do any crazy Bible journaling or read it for a super long time. I'm probably gonna read maybe like for 5 minutes because that's another thing I'm wanting to be disciplined about, is getting in the Word every day. Ideally, I'd spend a lot of time doing it, but I feel like it's also important to have a little bit of flexibility, especially when I'm growing into the habit, because when I'm not used to doing it every day for a long period of time, it's really easy to make an excuse and be like, oh, I don't want to, or oh, I don't have the time. So giving myself the flexibility to do it for a little bit on days when I'm feeling tired or am like a little bit more busy, I feel like that will help me have the discipline to build the habit, so then down the road I'll more likely be able to be more consistent in spending greater lengths of time reading my Bible. Does that make sense? I feel like it can be applied to journaling in that same wavelength. Hopefully this video was encouraging to you so that you, one, don't feel alone, because I promise it happens to everybody, and two, I hope it's inspiring, I guess, for what you can do when you're feeling a little grumpy. And again, keep in mind, I probably would be a little bit more like grumpy while I was journaling and just wanted to go to bed if I didn't have a camera on me. Sometimes also I'd be crying while I'm journaling. I'll be like, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, it sucks. Just do what you gotta do. There's no wrong way, there's no right way. Guys, it's literally like 5 minutes later. I started reading Matthew chapter 11 and I just got to right here. Let me just read this to you. It's in the come to me and I will give you rest portion. Chapter 11 verses 28 through 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Oh, how fitting is that to how I'm feeling right now? So let's break it down a little bit. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So this is my understanding of it. Jesus is telling the people who labor and are hardworking, I'm pretty sure that's what heavy laden means, to come to him and he will provide rest. But it's not just like sleeping rest, it's a rest for your soul, which honestly sounds so lovely. That is what I need. And that's honestly how I felt as I've continued to grow in my faith. But it says, take my yoke upon you. And I recently learned a yoke it's like what goes on cows or ox or whatever. It looks like one of those Wild West things with like your head goes through the circle, like the little thing. I don't know if that makes sense. But basically what that is saying is let Jesus take the reins and guide you. I kind of read it as take my yoke upon you is let me put my will onto you, like Jesus is saying that, and learn from me, so learn from him. For I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Because although, if we flip back to Matthew chapter 7, we learned that the path of following Jesus is a narrow, hard path to follow, just because you have to kind of go against what the rest of the world is doing when you have to like give up earthly pleasures. But at the end of the day, it leads to eternal life. Right there. It leads to life. So when we go back, when you take that all into consideration, his yoke is easy and his burden is light. It's like what you gotta do to follow Jesus, although not like always easy. In the grand scheme of things, that is way easier. That just feels really encouraging right now. That also feels really like wonderfully timed with this and feeling so tired. Wow, God is so good. I feel like that's been happening a lot recently with what I've been reading, where things are just like really timed in a way where they just feel very applicable, which I'm very grateful for because it hasn't always been like that. It kind of comes in waves sometimes. But right now, that's how it feels. It feels like every time I open my Bible, I'm like, woo, this is speaking to me. I just need to remember that when I'm feeling tired like this, I just need to give it to God. I feel so much better. Wow. A nice little quick journal entry, a good little Bible sesh, quick and short and sweet. And I feel like I can go to bed with a lighter head and I can wake up and just jump straight into the Word and start my day off really strong tomorrow. Because, like I said, planning on having a good day. But that is what's gonna happen. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you all in my next video. Good night.